These are the voyages of Simon Anderson. My mission, to capture the night sky, to seek out the Milky Way and new star constellations, to boldly go where no photographer has gone before.
Hi there and welcome to my Astro photography tutorial. I'm Captain Simon E. Anderson of the USS Enterprise. Now I know not everyone can afford a starship like me with this amazing bridge that I'm standing on now, with warp drives and sensor arrays where you can just fly to planets and stars and get good pictures and be right there in the action. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you the basics to get you started, how to take pictures down on planet Earth. Stay tuned. So now I'm just going to go over some basic criteria and bullet points just to give you an idea of what you need to get started to do some astrophotography. Number one is safety. Safety is the utmost importance. Sort of touch on that first. Clothes and footwear. I think there's things you might not even think about, but if you think clothes, you need some warm clothes with you, even if it's warm during the day. At night time you could be out standing in the open for a long time, waiting for a bank of cloud to perhaps disappear so you can grab that picture, and temperatures can drop very quickly. So even if you're not going to wear them straight away, make sure you perhaps got a jumper and a coat. There's things in the car that you can just put on even if you don't use them. Also footwear, you could be walking across fields or uneven ground, on beaches, on pebbles and rocks maybe, so make sure you've got good footwear as well to protect you. A torch and spare batteries. Torches in the cold can run out, the batteries can run out really quickly. Always good to have spares. They're good to see where you're going, and also to when setting up your equipment, you can obviously, it's going to be dark out, you need a torch to see what's going on there. Mobile phone is good, if you get in trouble you can use it obviously to contact people, let people know you're in trouble, stuff like that. Also you can use it for Google Maps to see where you're going, and also up-to-date phones have a torch as well, so you've got a secondary torch there. Very important as well, tell someone where you are. If it's going to be dark out and stuff, if you trip, hurt yourself, break your ankle, you're not coming back, somebody's going to need to know where you are and when you're coming back. Or take a friend with you. It's good to have somebody there, you can discuss what you're doing, bounce ideas off each other as well, and have somebody to talk to. So now safety is out of the way. Number two is location. So location is very important because light pollution, we need very little light pollution for night photography, for taking pictures of the stars. If you're in a town centre, you've got loads of street lamps, house lights, car lights, all sort of invading your shot and overpowering it. You're not going to, with high ISOs and stuff, you're going to capture too much light, it's going to ruin your shot. So there's some dark maps online, you can Google it. I found one, I'm just going to use this and I'll put a link in the description. Light pollution map, which is www.lightpollutionmap.info. Like I say, the link will be in the description, but what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you it now and go over it. So computer, bring up the dark map please.
Destruct sequence completed and engaged.
No, not the self-destruct sequence, you silly computer. Get it right or I'll replace you with a ZX Spectrum. Now bring up the dark map.
Affirmative.
So there's a couple of ways of finding dark maps. Just going on Google and just Googling dark maps or dark skies. You get various options come up. I'm gonna go, you can click on them, see the different variants, what best suits your needs. I'm going to go directly to one I've already mentioned, which is www.lightpollutionmap.info. And as you can see, there's a world map. You can zoom in and out like you can on Google Maps. I'm going to go to my location. I'm going to zoom in Before I go all the way into where I'm going, just on the right here there's different variants. I'm going to click on hybrid, which gives a more detailed map, and also you've got different variants of the light pollution. I like something like this one, which you can see here. It shows you the light and the dark areas of the map. So you've got the towns and cities here where there's a lot more light pollution, and that's the sort of places you want to avoid. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be heading to Berlin Gap, as you can see over on the right in Eastbourne. It's very bright in the centre of the town, but goes darker on the way out. But Berlin Gap is where I'm going to be heading, just down here, which is very, very dark. You can play around with the tools on the map. You've got the interactive map, and this shows you the radiance, so how dark, is the black, and how light is going to be the red, and the darker the better. So now we've looked at the dark map, and I've shown you that. We're going to talk about when you progress and you get used to taking pictures, night pictures. You might want to focus on your foreground as well. Good foregrounds could be castles, churches, lighthouses, anything like that. Trees in the foreground. Once you capture them stars, having things in the foreground will really lift your shot and add more interest, and they're going to look amazing. So yeah, foreground is very important. Also, when you choose location, make sure it's got easy access. The closer to the car, especially when you're carrying gear, the closer the better. The easier it is. If you've got to climb over walls and stuff in the dark and you're lugging gear over, it can be very difficult. So make sure it's got easy access. Also, scout your location during the day. Obviously this crosses over to the safety side as well, but if you don't and you're traveling a longer distance and you want to, I've done it before. I scouted the location, went there at night and still almost got lost. It's totally different when it's pitch black. So make sure that you have a little look at the location during the day. You don't want to fall down holes and off cliffs and things like that. Free equipment, which is what everyone loves. The camera, you need a camera with full manual settings. You need to be able to control your aperture, the shutter speed and your ISO yourself. If you let the camera do it, it's not going to do a very good job, and the results can be very poor. So you need a camera with a good high ISO, which is why most people choose DSLRs, because they've got big sensors, and you can go up to settings like 3200, 6400, 12,800 and above, depending on your camera. But we'll discuss that at the location. Shutter speeds up to 30 seconds. You can go above and beyond that. 30 seconds is plenty for still shots. Above 30 seconds, normally sort of talking star trails, but at the moment we're going up to 30 seconds, and we need a good wide angle lens, to get all that foreground in as much as the sky as possible, and preferably with a fast aperture. f2.8 is ideal. Above is amazing, but they're very expensive. So I'll be using my Tamron 15-30 2.8, amazing lens, great quality, and it does the job. There are cheaper lenses out there. Tripod, you've got to have a tripod, to keep the camera nice and sturdy, to get nice sharp shots for the long exposures. Sturdier the better. And also, if you want, you can have a cable release. I've stopped using cable releases now, as long as you don't go above 30 seconds, because at night time trying to put it in and out the port, I found it a bit of a fiddly and a nightmare, especially in the dark. So what I do is I just use the timer on the camera, and I set it for 2 seconds. So I press the shutter button, the camera waits 2 seconds and takes the picture. So that's going to be my setup. Number 4 will be setting up and focusing. You're going to want to know how to focus to make sure your shot is all the stars are sharp. And there's a couple ways of doing this, but what we're going to do is I'm going to go down to location and I'll show you there how to set up and focus in. And the location I've chosen, which is Berlin Gap, which you see from the dark map I showed you earlier. Berlin Gap is in a very dark location. There's no light pollution. It's going to be excellent for night photography, and we're going to go down there and see what we can capture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to beam down there and start setting up. Computer, beam me down. Right, so here we are at Berlin Gap. It's late at night, it's coming up to about 10 o'clock. Depending on what time of month it is, it depends on the type of shot you're going to get, because at the moment we've got the moon in the sky, which sort of hinders us a little bit. So I'm not sure we're going to get any pictures of the Milky Way, but we're just going to go over the basics like I described earlier to show you how to get some pictures of the night sky. As you see behind me, I'm going to use the stairs of Berlin Gap as a sort of interest. I'm going to go over my equipment I'm using at the moment. So I've got my Nikon D750 and my Tamron 15-30, and I've got my Manfrotto 055 tripod, and I can't remember what sort of tripod head it is, but I'll put a link in the description so you can see. But like I mentioned earlier, you want a nice sturdy tripod if you can, but any tripod is going to do the job. It's a little bit windy, I don't know if you can hear that, but this is very sturdy and this is going to do the job as well. So the ultra wide angle, I'm going to capture the stairs behind me and get some stars in the shot as well. The moon's over in that direction, so that's why I'm going to be facing this way, because I wanted to come down and capture the Milky Way over the sea, but we're just going to work with what we've got. So you can look online for like moon calendars, and it shows you what type of moon it's going to be, whether it's going to be like a quarter moon, a new moon, and it does dictate what type of shot you might be able to get. Also, I'm going to actually use the light of the moon to illuminate hopefully the cliffs behind me a little bit, because if you have got a full moon, it's going to wash out the sky and you're going to have trouble capturing the Milky Way in the night sky. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my camera in position, and then going to go over the focusing as well. But also, like I said earlier in the video, make sure you're wearing the right gear. As you can see, I've got my jumper on underneath my Star Trek t-shirt. Also, scout your location. I've been here many times before, so I didn't need to come here during the day. I know how to get down here. The car park's right at the top of the stairs, so it's so close. I don't have to carry my gear very far as well. My son's here with me to carry some of the gear, and as a safety precaution, I've got another person here as well. I've got spare batteries. I've got my mobile phone. Also, you can have apps on your phone as well. I use one called Photo Pills. Costs about £10, and you can look at that and it shows you where the stars are in the sky, the moon, and also the Milky Way, so that's going to be handy as well. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around, and we're going to face the stairs and get the composition that I want, and then get set up, and then I'm going to show you how to focus. So basically there's two ways you can focus depending on the type of shot. If you want stuff in the foreground as well in focus, as well as the stars. So the first way is the easiest way, and that is depending on what lens you've got a dial on your lens, and you've also got a marker, which I put on the screen now, to show you where infinity is. And all you do is turn the focusing ring to infinity, and that should be good enough for most situations. So I've got with me my trusty torch. And now the camera's set to infinity. So here's I'll do it from the side a little bit more so you can see. So here's the camera. I'm going to use the preview screen. So I've got it set to 15mm. So having trouble focusing, it's really dark out here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom all the way in on the back of the preview screen, on the back of the camera. As you can see the dots here as well. So it's going to be struggling to focus. And then what you do is you turn the focusing screen. You see them going in and out of focus, or they go blurry. And then what you do is once they're nice and sharp on the screen, you know it's in focus. And also, I don't know if you can see that there, it's also on infinity, so it's pretty much the same anyway. So now I've focused, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recompose my shot. Zoom out, I'm going to recompose my shot, have them stairs in the foreground. Now I'm going to look at the settings for the camera. So I've got it on fully manual. I've got it on fully manual. Now I need to sort out the aperture is at f2.8, so I want as wide aperture as possible to let as much light in as possible. Also, I want the ISO as high as I possibly can, which would be, I'm going to try about 6400 for this camera, because it will depend on your camera, the quality. So I'm going to try 6400, and then I'm going to change the shutter speed to around 20 seconds. Now if you go too long, where the Earth's rotating, it looks like the stars will be moving, so if you do it too long they'll start getting star trails, but we want them nice and sharp as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on timer mode. I'm going to turn the light off, and then I'm going to take a picture, and then we'll see how it looks. So I've taken a picture. I looked at the back of the screen to preview it. Do you know what? It looks really good. It's so bright though. I might knock the 6400 down to 3200, and then take another shot, and then see how it looks there. So let's give that a try and take a few shots. So I've taken another shot at 3200, lowered the ISO a bit, so I make the pictures a little bit more clearer and crisper. But you can play around with the settings. You can reduce the time, you know, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, and increase the ISO, things like that. Play around with the settings and try some different shots. So it's all about trial and error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pot around, take some shots. I might even turn it around, get some pictures of the sea, and I'll just show you some pictures of what it looks like with the moon in at high ISO as well. So we'll do that as well, and I'll show you the shots. So just stay tuned. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something as well, just a few basics to get you on the road to taking star shots or night photography shots as well, capture them stars. I didn't capture the Milky Way because I went at the wrong time of month, which we learned from the moon calendar from earlier in the video. But you know, if you pre-plan your shots, you'll be able to go out and capture them with just the settings and the tips I've given you in this video. I'm not sure how well I explained everything, but if I didn't explain it very well or you didn't understand, please just leave your questions below in the comments. I'll try and answer as best as I can. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to come back for the next one. So may your batteries live long and prosper.